Good morning, beautiful people. This is the broth that we started yesterday. I just had to move it out of the way. I needed space. I'm going to go ahead and start some tea. That's my favorite morning tea. It doesn't seem to upset my stomach with UC. And I do put probably too much Splenda in it. The Splenda doesn't seem to upset my ulcerative colitis either. And we are going to make a sourdough Dutch baby. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. That is a sourdough that we fed yesterday for its birthday. I believe I got this recipe from Farmhouse on Boone. I'm pretty shocked that none of these eggshells ended up in there. So thank you for giving me the courage to try that. I pretty much follow the recipe. I don't measure anything. Oh, this is my lactose-free butter because I'm dairy-free. But I pretty much follow the recipe except for when it asks for maple syrup, I just go ahead and put Splenda in it. And then as you can see, I use an unsweetened soy milk. So I can enjoy maple syrup and honey if I buy it locally. That's my cast iron I am preheating in the oven. But I figured since I've already gained 30 pounds from starting this IUI/IVF process, it's probably a better option for me and my body to stick to Splenda. I fully regret not feeding my sourdough more. I used almost all of it, and it was pretty pathetic by the time we were done. I think I even scooped some more out with the spatula because I don't think I got enough. Yeah, it was gone if you can see that. So a whisk is definitely a better option for doing this. I just didn't want to dirty another dish, honestly. But I'm just adding, wow, that was a big dash of vanilla. I'm just adding the rest of the ingredients for the Dutch baby. That is my Splenda tub, and that was quite a bit of Splenda. Like I said, I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, so you'll have to excuse that. So now I'm just putting up all the ingredients that I've used and getting the pan out because I've decided to make fried potatoes. That one was disgusting. And yes, I should have made these fried potatoes before I started the sourdough because they took a little bit of time. And I do have to peel potatoes every time because of the higher fiber content that comes on the skin. So I do not partake in skins. Oh, that was a disgusting potato. I tried. I saved half of it, but I'll show you the rest here soon. It was disgusting. I'm surprised that it didn't start smelling, actually. So the pan that I'm going to use is actually a forged in fire, which I got from my dad for a Christmas present, and it is pretty much amazing when you don't want to use oil or anything. I didn't use any type of oil for frying these potatoes. Have you ever cut yourself with a potato peeler? Because I had to speed this up a lot because I was going slow because I've cut myself with this particular potato peeler before. And while we're on that, do you worry about your crock pot setting your house on fire? Oh, that was a nasty potato. Did you see it? It was rotten. I'm surprised it didn't smell. But I had to turn my crock pot on keep warm through the night because I was terrified that it was going to burn my house down. I have made broth several times before, and no, it has never burnt my house down. So there's that. And while we're thinking about intrusive thoughts, every time I go to cut these potatoes, because as you can see, they are sticking to the knife, I just think, man, I'm going to chop all my fingers off. Am I trying to? No. Do I want to? No. But these potatoes were so sticky, and that's the only thing that I was thinking about. Are we still chopping potatoes? I did make a lot. I like to make leftovers just in case I have sick days, ulcerative colitis sick days, and that way I have easy leftovers so that I can still feed my family a good meal at home. So 400 years later, and we're done with the potatoes. Now we're just going to start frying them with a little bit of salt and pepper. There is no oil in this pan. Oh wow, look at those knife cuts. Call Bobby Flay. I've decided to add some Italian seasoning, just a touch, or maybe a fourth a cup. It's fine, a little bit of seasoning never hurt anybody. So 100 years later, the potatoes are still cooking. We're still on potatoes. Since I have a little bit of free time, as I like to call it, in between potato stirring, we're going to go ahead and feed the sourdough. It is the only thing in the kitchen that I measure to a T. Like I said before, it is just equal parts flour and water. I think I put, 10 ounces of each in there. And this is filtered Berkey water. No, I did not buy the Berkey. It is very expensive. It was a gift from, I believe, one of my partner's bosses for our wedding gift last year. As you can see, my life right now revolves around potatoes. I went back to the potatoes to stir them. I am trying to get all the sourdough off of the sides just so I can see the growth of sourdough that I have. And honestly, it just makes me feel better. It is pancake consistency, and I am using my finger to wipe the spoon down. It is not bad for the sourdough. I have done that since day one. It will be fine, I promise. I have washed my hands plenty of times. So I just put the lid back on it, and it is not an airtight lid. It is just parchment paper and a rubber band. And I put it back on the fridge for now so it can grow. Back to the potatoes, of course. I feel like they are running my life right now. And right now I am just waiting for the oven to preheat with the cast iron in it. And the potatoes, because we are back on potatoes, they have gotten enough color on the outside of them to where now I've just put a lid on top of them so they can steam and cook the rest of the way. These pot holders I wanted to show you because my grandmother, I believe it was my great grandmother, actually made these, so that was pretty important to me. If you couldn't see, I just took the 6 tablespoons of butter, put it in the cast iron, put the cast iron back in the oven so that I could melt the butter, and then I took it back out when it was melted and I just dumped the sourdough into it. And now you want to cook it for 15 minutes at least. Don't take it out before it puffs up. Check them potatoes, of course. Put the lid back on, and well, I guess I'm going to give it a taste test. Well, I guess it was good. So here's a different angle for you. I've decided since the sourdough Dutch baby is cooking, I'm just going to go ahead and put away these clean dishes. I would like to apologize again for all of these awkward angles. Right now I am using a selfie stick that I jammed into our fruit holder, hoping that nobody comes by and bumps it or anything. Also, we are in a judgment-free zone. I am wearing sweatpants and my slippers. It is just an easy Saturday morning. My dishwasher is horrible at drying my dishes, so I'm having to go with a rag and kind of wipe the leftover water left on them. I have no idea how old my dishwasher is. The Dutch baby was cooked, but I could not leave the dishes half finished, so I went ahead and finished putting those up completely. so that that task could be done. And then I just turned off the oven, and I'm sure that it'll be fine for the few minutes that it was left in there. Did you hear that delicious sizzle? This was a very filling breakfast. I used Date Lady syrup for my people. Since there's too much fiber, I just put maple syrup on top of mine. And then, of course, sugar-free ketchup for the potatoes.